The monarchs are headed through Dallas, Texas on their migration. They're super hard to capture on film, but all day they flutter in and out. It's just so fun to just come out here and relax and watch them fluttering in the breeze. Of course, they love the zinnias. And they really like this Greg's Mist a lot. It comes back every year. So that's really fun to start in your garden and then wait for the monarchs in the fall. Hey you guys, this is Dash coming to you from Bloom Where You're Planted. I am here in the front yard garden, and just to be honest, fall in Dallas, Texas can be such a busy time in the garden because we have a really short garden season and we need to get those things started for winter food. So what I don't have is all day to do garden projects. I don't have like 8 hours to do it. But what I do have is like a half an hour every morning and every night. So what I do is try to just jump out in the garden and just do some small steps. Small steps. This is my motto. Small steps lead to huge victories, big victories. So I'm just gonna give you a rundown of the fall chores to do in the garden, so that you can kind of get set for your small steps to jump out in your garden and do them. If you're in Dallas, Texas and you're wondering, Dash, what do I do now so I can have food all winter? These are the things. First, garden cleanup. Of course, garden has to be cleaned up. Fertilize everything. Everything needs a fresh source of fuel for the plants. And then plant those winter cool season crops, and I'll get into which ones you can do by seed and not in a few minutes. But frost covers need to come out because we're going to be covering through the winter and taking them off just during the freeze periods and taking them off and letting the food soak up that great Texas sunshine that we have even into December sometimes. Get your garlic planted so you have lots of yummy garlic to flavor your meals. Calendula flowers, I use those for my skincare. You'll see me throughout the winter harvesting those, and in the spring and using it for oil for my skin. Really healing emollient oil. Let's see, and that is just the garden. That's just the garden. The animals, there are different things I'm gonna do with the animals, but let's leave that for another video, okay? Included in the garden cleanup is also some rebuilding that needs to be done of the beds and the fence. We typically take off in the summer because nobody feels like doing a rebuilding garden project in full sun in Dallas, Texas. Trust me. But now that the weather is beautiful again, it actually was chilly this morning, it was so nice, we can get back out and start rebuilding. And this year, in those beds that are not being used, I'm gonna do some cover crops, some cool season cover crops for my chickens and my rabbits. You might also, like me, have some peppers, maybe some longevity spinach that needs to be harvested and enjoyed. So as you can see, it can really get overwhelming, but take it one step at a time. Just pop out in your garden and get things done. Let's start with a quick garden cleanup. Alright, well that is enough for today. I am going to leave these sunflowers. For the birds to nibble on. They will love them. I trimmed up my fruiting mulberry to keep it short enough to harvest the fruit. So the rabbits all got fresh mulberry leaves. If you have a mulberry tree, fruitless or fruiting, either one, the rabbits really like mulberry leaves to eat, so it is a good survival food for your animals if somehow you can't get rabbit food. That's one reason I planted this mulberry tree back here for shade, and then also for a source of food if I need it. Look, you guys, my Jerusalem artichokes have started blooming. I wonder what the bloom would look like. There it is. So pretty. This is another survival food. You can eat the roots, kind of like a potato. A starchy food, if you will. And notice that I protected the bottom from my chickens, or they would have never grown here. So yeah, definitely wire, stakes, secure from these leaf eaters. They're enjoying the cleanup from the garden. You guys, I wish I had something all ready to go on this trellis, like sweet peas or a snap peas or morning glory at the front would be really nice. But I haven't started that yet. That's okay. That'll be my small step for this morning. I'm a tiny bit late, but that's okay. Depending on how the season goes, it could still make a beautiful show. And those sugar snap peas, love those. Now it is so dry in the garden right now, and we've got squirrels running around everywhere. Just waiting to dig up those little pea seeds that I plant. And my garden fence is in disrepair, so rabbits can get in, and word to the wise, they like to just nibble off the very bottom stems of the snap peas, and it just kills the whole plant. So I'm gonna start these beautiful beginnings somewhere where I can keep an eye on them, like my back patio table. Now these morning glories, I could soak them, but I'm not a very patient person, so I'm going to score them, and that means just to rub them, put it like that, rub them on a file, kind of make a little spot in the seed where the water can get in, and it can burst out a little bit easier. There we go. My son got a new puppy, and I get to keep her for the weekend while they're out of town, so I am having so much fun with that. I get to train this little girl. Nala's helping for sure to be a good homestead dog and good and obedient. So I'm having fun. I am reminded, however, what a lot of work puppies are. Come. Good girl, sit. Yes, good girl. She's getting used to chickens. No. We've taken her in there a few times and made her lay down with them. As you guys can tell, she's part Rot, but she's a rescue, so I'm thinking she's mixed with a little Labrador because she seems to be a water dog. It's going to be a fun mix.